Hello, guys! And there I am again, after another month. So, basically, we're approaching the summer again, which means more videos. I've actually, survived another exams week. See, somehow, school tends to be not liking me. Anyway, so, today, what we'll do is or I will give you 5 tips and tricks to make your villages look better. Recently, behind the scenes, I've been working on this little village. As you can see right there, that sign says nil 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 nil. You'll see that more throughout this video. That's because the server crashed somehow. So yeah, let's get into those 5 tips, and I hope that they're useful and that your villages may shine once more. Okay, guys. So the first tip that I would want to give you is make sure to delete your Christmas decorations after 2 months. Also, delete flying trees. But after that, what you want to do is basically when I build a house. I built this house right here, and then I added in a little garden. Why? Because it gives more green atmosphere with all these little flowers and stuff, and it just looked good. So basically what you want to do is just add a little bit of a garden or some kind of greenery around your houses in the form of leaves, flowers, or, well, just look at how I did it. I added a little flower just to make your houses not only brick and stone and wood. Tip number 2. That was the word introduction ever. What you want to do is realism. Basically, my second tip, but my most important tip of all, would be realism. Why? Usually villages and cities would be positioned where any type of trade would be able to take place. So it would be either on a side skirt of a big ass road, and I shouldn't say ass, but you know what I mean, or like here, a river. You would say, well, this is a really small river. That's correct. But what this river does is it will eventually get into a bigger river, which is across those mountains. So basically, they can take their goods, put it on a plank, or a raft, and then have a horse pull that raft up the river to then deliver it to whatever they want to deliver it to. It's just way easier than just carrying it over the road, since even when something is on water, you probably know that you can just even pull it yourself. So try to add realism in the form of nature. These 2 tips were both about nature. I might even say more, but try to build it where you think it would be most realistic. People do like that more in their subconsciousness. So they don't see, oh, look, he's like, he built it right next to a river. That's so detailed. No, they will, in their subconscious, they will be like, what? They will think that it was more realistic. Also, what you want to do is, of course, the trees, which makes more than sense. And if you have a pine area, but you want to go to this kind of tree, what you want to do is you just kind of want, those pines are kind of thin, just thicken them out more like I did here, and then slowly transfer into these. But that's all things that speak for themselves. So basically, tip 2, make a realistic position for your village. Okay, tip number 3 was already in the previous shot, but it is farms. Why farms? Basically because all people would die without it. In medieval times, the person with the biggest farm would be the most powerful. Only in cities there was this kind of status ranking where the king would be higher. But the ranking within a village, if you know what I'm talking about, the guy that provides everybody from food was the guy that basically had the most money. That's the reason why this house is the biggest of the whole village. Because we all started with farming, and when we invented better farming techniques, other people started doing other things like making chairs and stuff like that, because there were not that much people needed for farming anymore. But basically, the main thing that a village would need is a farming place. So a lot of farms. These aren't even done yet. You would say this is a big wheat farm, but if you consider this village, which is going to be a little bit bigger, needs to have a little bit of a little bit of a bigger field. So you could do that in the form of wheat. You could do carrots as well. You just make farms. That's the tip. Tip number 4. Tip number 4 would be roads. Again, this video is not about making houses detailed, because that's not about villages. I'm talking here about making your village look good. What I always do for villages, like you see this road isn't straight and boring and solid. It has blocks of grass in it, and it goes all the way around. It's like a snake. It goes through the field, not in a straight line, but from the left to the right to the back to the front. It goes all the ways you want, even with little grasses in between. Make the road as detailed and as block variable as possible. As you can see here, I got the likes of cobblestone, stone brick, broken stone brick, mossy stone brick, stone, everything in this road. But as you can see, even if I fly up, you see no straight bit. Never, ever. It goes straight there, it goes curly over there, and it just basically curves around every house. And I even made it go underneath the house. How about that? Just make your road alive, if you know what I mean. Just make it, just think of a snake, and don't use the standard boring material. Go think out of the box and use pink wool. Of course, that was sarcastic, but well, this is for me a nice design, which I usually use in the villages. So if you want a tutorial on this, that would be a very small tutorial. But if you do, put that in the comments below, and then we'll move on to the 5th tip. My 5th and final tip would be house placing. People tend to build houses in a standard square form. Well, I have two tips, by the way, but the one has to do with building, which is never make them the same shapes, which I've said 1,000 times in other videos. So I'll leave that behind. What I mean is that usually people who start building in Minecraft usually place houses right next to each other. Why? Because that's what you see in cities. It's all organized, all in the same position, all for the benefits of shops, positioning, more space. They can put more houses in less space. So pretty much think about where you want to place your houses at. Where I went for in villages usually, I usually go for just random placement. Just build them. As you can see here, I kind of went for a straight line with these houses, and then there, and I made kind of a spare form right here. This would be a small center. So if you want to go for a center, try to do that. But then if you see all the other houses, they're never in the same, line. You see, this one is a little bit more to the front. This one is a little bit more to the back. Those two are a little bit more to the front. And then there's like 10 blocks in between, and then there's 5. So try to place houses everywhere else. And if you would follow my previous tip, which would be making the roads snaky, to just put it that way, just make them curvy, then you naturally get the houses in these kind of weird positions. Well, they're not weird, but in these kind of positions. Because if you would have a straight road, you have straight positioned houses. If you have curved roads, you would have curved positioned houses. So, yeah, the tips would be environment placing. Where do you place them? Not on a Mount Everest, but on a river or somewhere. Add farms because they need them. Curvy roads and house placement. And, of course, gardens. Add gardens. Add flowers. Add everything that makes things cute. Also, add completely unnecessary details such as benches, crafting tables, chests. Add so much stuff that your head explodes and you're just right. So I hope you guys had a kind of good idea of what I was talking about. If you didn't, then please put it in the comments below, because I always want a good picture to be shown in my videos. I hope this video was useful, and once again, I'll see you guys in the next one. And have a great day, guys.